What's up guys and welcome back to TechPlant. Today we are reviewing the Spider Farmer SF-1000. Let's check it out. This is a light I've actually wanted for a long time and many of you had asked me to review. For this it's just going to be an unboxing. I'll just kind of explain and talk about it a little bit, but I will have future videos about how well it's growing stuff. This is the Spider Farmer SF-1000. Let's get it out of its box unwrapped and let's check out the features. Like most lights, this one comes with a nice manual. This one has multi-language, multi-page. Seems pretty nice. Let's continue. This light is a little heavy, but it is packaged quite well. There's foam on all four sides, and it makes sure that it doesn't get banged around too much. Just the initial impressions as I kind of pulled it out of the packaging, it's quite heavy, but that's because it's made with really nice parts. The aluminum plate that it's on is actually quite thick and sturdy, along with the big mean wheel driver that's super efficient and nice, and it even has a dimmer switch on it that is really awesome that you can link to other lights. Again, this one is using the Samsung LEDs, which are supposedly the top of the line stuff. These are going to give you your best power values for energy input, so they should work great in theory. This has a good mix of LEDs. Some are 3000K and some are 5000K, along with some red ones and some IR ones. So you're going to get a really good mix for your plants. On the back side, you're going to see what's new in the 2020 model is a large dimming box. So this allows you kind of to change the power on the fly without having to open up the LED driver. So this is really nice and convenient now. And they also gave you controls where you can link them up with almost a telephone cable, and then you can dim multiple units at once from one single unit. I already stated it earlier, but this one uses a mean wheel LED driver, and these are some of the best in the industry. So you're going to get tons of efficiency out of this one. On the back of the dimming box, there's a toggle switch, and that's going to be what enables you to do the daisy chaining, so you can dim all the lights by just controlling one. Once I got this thing plugged in, I wanted to test out the dimming just to see how much range you really get, and it is actually quite significant. It may not seem important to some people, but it's really helpful to make the light a lot more flexible in different situations. Here's the dimming function again with a watt meter, just so I can show you the lowest and the highest. As you can see, the lowest is going to be only 10 watts, which is pretty awesome. And then at our highest, it's going to be about 97. This is really valuable for me because if the plants are nice and small, I can put this light right above them and only use about half power. But once the plants get nice and tall, I can put it on max power and really penetrate the canopy of larger plants. This will allow you to save a ton of money on some of your grows. That way you're not spending a fortune during the early phases of the plant. Here's some general footage of just kind of the footprint of the light. Because it is only about a foot by foot square, the output area is pretty small, so let's kind of see how it falls on a surface and kind of see how focused it really is. Here at full power, you can see it's absolutely bright, and once you get it up high enough, it covers quite a bit of distance. Even at only 10 watts at the lowest setting, it's rather bright. It doesn't look that bright on camera because again, I'm kind of messing with the exposure, but it is pretty strong and you could probably grow some little things or start some seeds under the 10 watt light. Here's a comparison to another similar light. We're just going to kind of compare the outputs and see where they're at. Where I can see some very specific differences is right as I'm lifting it before I hit the midpoint at the top of the frame, I can see a much hotter spot from the Spider Farmer. Now maybe that's because the panel's a little more condensed, I'm not sure, but at about the midpoint they almost look equal and it doesn't seem too bad or too different. However, once I lift it past that midpoint, you can see the Spider Farmer really keeps a consistent brightness even at a higher height. The other thing to remember is the Spider Farmer is a solid 10 watts less. So that means you're getting more output for less wattage, and this is just a lot more efficient of a light. Remember too that the Spider Farmer lights are using the Samsung LEDs, which are known as the best in the industry, and they are going to have a higher power output. So even though I don't have a meter or anything, you're going to get a lot more actual energy into your plants with the Spider Farmer than you are with this Mars Hydro, and again it's for less wattage and with far superior parts. If you compare the price though, if you really can't afford bumping up to this about $150 price point, then I would say probably go with the Mars Hydro, but if you just up your price a little bit more, you can get a much more efficient light that will save you money over time. You're going to get better growth from the Spider Farmer, and it's just made of much more quality parts that are going to last a lot longer. Well guys, that pretty much sums up this review. I hope you guys liked it. I am pretty darn excited about this light. It does seem to be excellent quality, and I'm growing some really spicy peppers, so hopefully this light can give me what I need to get those peppers nice, big, and strong. As always guys, may your plants grow strong and healthy. I'll see you next time.